You thought something went wrong. But what if you were actually being protected this entire time? There are moments in life where something suddenly changes and it doesn't make sense. A door closes, a conversation ends, a person pulls away, an opportunity disappears, and you're left sitting there, trying to understand what just happened, because it didn't feel like protection. It felt like loss. It felt like something important was taken from you, something you were counting on, something you believed was right. And now it's gone, and your mind starts racing. You replay everything. You question every decision. You wonder if you did something wrong, if you missed something, if you could have changed the outcome. Because when something leaves your life like that, your instinct is to fix it, to go back, to try again, to hold on just a little longer. But what if going back is exactly what you're being protected from? Because not everything that feels right is right for you, and not everything that looks like an opportunity is aligned with your purpose. Some things enter your life not to stay, but to reveal something, to show you something about yourself, about your path, about what you truly need. And once that purpose is fulfilled, they have to leave, not because you failed, not because you weren't enough, but because their role in your life is complete. And if they stayed, they would start to damage what they were once meant to help. That's the part people don't talk about. Something can feel right and still not be meant to last. Something can feel good and still not be part of your future. And when God removes something like that, it doesn't always feel like guidance. It feels like disruption. It feels like everything you were building just stopped. But what if it didn't stop? What if it was redirected? Because there are paths in your life that look good from the outside, but led somewhere you were never meant to go. And you can't see that at the beginning. You only see the promise, the potential, the idea of what it could become. You don't see the stress it would bring. You don't see the version of yourself you would become if you stayed. You don't see how far it could pull you away from your purpose. And that's why protection doesn't always feel like protection. Because you don't see what didn't happen. You don't see what you avoided. You don't see the pain you were saved from. You only see what you lost. And that creates confusion, because your emotions are attached to what you thought it would be, not what it actually was. And that gap between expectation and reality is where most people struggle, because they try to hold on to something that was never meant to carry them forward. They try to revive something that already served its purpose. They try to force something that is clearly being removed. And the more they try, the heavier it feels, the more exhausting it becomes, the more unclear everything gets, because they're moving against the direction they're being guided. But the moment you stop resisting, the moment you pause and really look at what's happening, you start to notice something. You start to realize that maybe this wasn't random, that maybe this didn't happen by accident, because when something is meant for you, it aligns, it flows, It doesn't constantly pull you into confusion and doubt. And when something is not meant to stay, no matter how hard you try, it starts to fall apart. Not to hurt you, but to move you, to shift you, to place you somewhere else. And that shift is not punishment. It's protection. Because there are things you are about to walk into that would have drained you, that would have taken more from you than they ever gave, that would have kept you stuck in a version of your life that no longer fits who you are becoming. And you couldn't see it. You couldn't know. So God stepped in quietly, without explanation, without warning, by simply making it not work anymore. And you called it bad timing. You called it loss. You called it disappointment. But it was direction, because one day you're going to look back at this exact moment and understand. You're going to see clearly why it had to end, why it couldn't continue, why it didn't go the way you expected. And when that moment comes, you won't feel confused anymore. You'll feel grateful. Grateful that it didn't work out. Grateful that you were stopped. Grateful that you didn't get what you thought you wanted. Because what you were given instead was protection. Protection from something you couldn't see. Protection from a path that wasn't yours. Protection from becoming someone you were never meant to be. So instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" try asking, "What might I have been protected from?" That question changes everything, because it shifts your focus from loss to purpose, from confusion to trust. Because you are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not losing something valuable. You are being moved away from something that wasn't meant to stay. And you are not alone in this, even if it feels quiet, even if it feels unclear, even if it feels like everything just stopped working. Because sometimes the clearest sign that something isn't meant for you is that it no longer works, no matter how hard you try. And that's not failure. That's guidance. That's protection. That's God stepping in and shifting your path. So let this be your prayer. God, even when I don't understand what's happening, help me trust what you are protecting me from. Help me release what I keep trying to hold on to, and remind me that what leaves my life is not always loss. Sometimes it's protection. If you feel this, comment, "I trust your protection," and subscribe for daily reflections.